David Pryor, founder. I'm well, thank you for your inquiry. Founder of Priority Business Lawyers.
That's right.
2 years old?
We're 2 years old in about 2 weeks.
Okay, happy birthday. You've been on the case for 35 years. Tell us what you've seen change in law in that time.
Well, basically, from the time I arrived, there were a lot of small practices in and around the Central Coast. Those practices, a lot of those practices have changed in that time. Some of them have merged with other practices. Some have gone out of business, actually. But
when you say smaller practices, one person practice, or more than that?
Yeah, one or two person practices. And these days there's a tendency for groups of people to get together, so there's more partnerships. And also the big change really is from a practice being more of a generalist practice to a specialist type of business law practice.
Your clients change? My
client base has changed dramatically. Originally we acted for everyone who came in the door. We did a wide variety of work from conveyancing to litigation, but we didn't really focus down or specialise, and our clients changed from, if you like, everyone in the community to really being clients who are business people, essentially. Small initially, but now more medium and high-end business.
And you're about to put looking for an extra solicitor?
We are, because we're growing. In the last 2 years we've seen a need and a niche to further develop our practice. We need specialist people in that practice to meet the needs, particularly of medium to high-end business owners.
How do you see your business changing over the next 2 years?
I see it becoming much more focused on the medium and higher end, if you like, businesses and companies on the Central Coast. We do have some of those clients now, but we're looking to attract more. We see ourselves really fundamentally as the business law firm to go to for business on the coast, essentially, and we see that becoming more like that in the
very
next 2 years.
Specifically business?
Yes.
You'll look after the business people's other work as well?
We see what we do is we build a relationship with business people. So we will look after business people from cradle to grave, if you like, from structuring their business right through to litigation if they need it, and succession. No other firm on the Central Coast does that. No other firm specialises in that sort of area of work. So we can, someone can come to us, a business person can come to us, we can talk about the way they structure their business, their key documents, issues arising, any disputes they've got, superannuation, succession, acquisition of property and so forth. Okay.
Now back to what you know now, which you wish you'd known in 35 years ago when you started. Is there a standout in terms of running a business?
Definitely. When I started in business on the Central Coast in 1985, really I went in without a lot of knowledge and without a lot of expertise. I think over the years that I've realised that there's really some key things to running a business. In particular, recruiting good staff is essential to running a good legal practice on the Central Coast. Secondly, making sure that you marketing to your base, including specifically when times are good, rather than to leave it when times are tough. I think I've learned that lesson well and truly. And making sure you reward not only your staff but also your key clients, and making sure that you are constantly engaged with them in the process. Okay,
that's cool. You have been out on your own for 2 years.
Yes.
And employing those people.
Yes.
What surprised you in that time, do you think? Any surprises or?
Not really.
No, that's okay.
Not really.
You after, let's do the maths, after 33 years, you'd want to be slightly more prepared than the first time you went into business.
Yes.
Okay.
Look. One of the things that I suppose the move to Tuggerah from we were based at Erina, and the move to Tuggerah was a massive organisational shift for us. We've actually acquired the premises in which we now operate, and that's been a big thing to undertake. In terms of the law practice itself, I think it's become much more nuanced and much more efficient than what it used to be. And I think that's because primarily I can see how to make that more efficient than what it was before. It didn't have that.
Is that systems?
It's about systems. It's about communication with your staff, and it's about making sure that everyone in your team knows where they fit and how they relate to the work that you're undertaking.
Okay. That may go to if you were sitting down with someone and offering them a tip on how to start a new business right now, what would that tip be?
Essentially, do your homework first. Do not simply start. Do not simply say, "Look, I'm just going to go into business." You need to line your ducks up first, so to speak. So it's all about doing the research, looking at where you want to place your business, what staff you want to attract, what clients you actually want to focus on, in terms of planning, making sure that your plans are in place before you actually go into business.
Is this a legacy thing for you? Do you see priority business lawyers lasting forever?
Well, that's a good question, Mark, because I actually do see it lasting for a long period of time. I actually am looking ultimately for a succession, and I'm planning for that into the future. I'd like to see priority business lawyers as the go-to firm on the Central Coast in terms of business for the foreseeable future.
Okay. We talk about difficulty in attracting good people here on the coast. Do you have a process?
We do. We don't simply take on the first person that comes along to our business. We advertise widely, we use the net, we use Seek, and we use newspapers. We use a wide variety of sources to attract potential candidates, and we interview them not only once, we often interview them twice or three times before we put them on.
Things that are challenging in business right now, is there a legal, something from the legal perspective businesses should look out for?
Definitely. In terms of business law and what business need to know, there are constant changes going on. In particular, the personal property security legislation's just come into force. That is like an octopus. It affects all of us in many ways when you want to secure personal property.
Who are the people it affects?
Business owners, people who are entering into credit arrangements, terms of trade, retention of title issues, and a whole range of personal charges, things like charges over personal assets and so forth. So people who are looking to seek and obtain security over personal assets.
That's the hub, isn't it?
Yes.
If that's part of your business model, you need to talk to someone, a specialist business lawyer.
Absolutely. The other area I would mention, which we do a lot of, is superannuation. Increasingly, superannuation for small business owners is extremely important, if you like, plank in the succession armoury. Without saying too much about it, but essentially you can borrow through superannuation now. So we do a lot of what we call limited recourse borrowing, which enables business people to actually borrow through their super funds to acquire business real property, such as the property you operate out of. And that's certainly an area of interest to me, but also should be to business owners as a means of ensuring their succession into the future.
So it is all interwoven, succession, super.
The whole bit is interwoven, and it's important for business to know that.
Okay. We might refer them to you if they need any questions answered, okay?
Thanks,
David. Right.